everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody, one and all, and happy holidays to you guys. We're here and we're doing our Christmas cooking class. We're excited to share this with you. We have a whole bunch of stuff to go over today. A lot of sweet stuff, a little savory stuff too. The most important thing is we're going to show you all kinds of great ideas on how to share these things with your family and friends in cute little gift ideas. Jen, my wife, she's on the camera. You're going to be hearing her a lot today. She has come up with a lot of these ideas on how to present them, and I've come up with the recipes for them for the most part. So let's go ahead and begin. First of all, the CDC for this holiday season has, this is from their website, that they do encourage you to make holiday crafts, cards, or cookies and such to send or deliver to family, friends, and neighbors, and they say that it is a relatively safe way to share the holiday cheer without spreading the virus in delivering food-based goods. And then you can do that, and you can give it to them at the door, you can drop it off at the door, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, they were recommending you leave it at the door rather than have contact, but
Well, I always would encourage you to have some sort of communication.
Yeah.
It means a lot this year.
It does.
Even if you just stand there and talk from six feet away with your neighbor. We've had a few people come by and deliver Christmas goodies, and it's meant a lot just to sit there and say, hi, how are you doing? Wow, okay, great to see you. Thank you so much. So
we've got some great people online already. We see some of our consultants. I see Jessica Newkirk. Hello, Jessica. Kelly Walton's here, Audrey Flanders, and Camille Petty so far. So glad to have you here, guys.
All right, awesome. So we have the menu going for tonight. Some of it will be demoing just like usual, and some we have already prepared, and we'll be doing along the way, some mix and match along the way. So we're going to feature the universal baking mix and our sweetenings tonight, but also we have our seasonings, which we're going to show you how to use, and some really great ideas and how to share some great snacks and awesome sweet stuff too with your neighbors. So let's talk a little bit about the menu. We're going to do some chocolate peppermint cupcakes.
Yum!
And with these, we use our universal baking mix, and we're also going to make a peppermint frosting for that. And we'll show you a couple ways to do it. One way we'll do tonight is actually putting the frosting on while they're still hot, and that adds a whole nother dimension too. And we're going to do mini ones. And a really awesome thing we tried for the first time is some new bark ideas. And this is made with white chocolate chips. We did a pumpkin spice bark.
Oh my gosh,
show you real quick
so yummy.
So all this is, and we're going to be doing a lemon bark as a demo tonight, but this is just pumpkin spice sweetening with white chocolate chips. And sprinkle a little cinnamon on top. And it's absolutely delicious.
It is so good.
I actually like lemon's one of my favorite flavors, so I'm really excited to do the lemon, and we have a new twist in there as well. Okay, we'll do some candied. We've done candied nuts already, and we have several different kinds of nuts and popcorn that we're going to share with you tonight, both sweet and savory. And some things Jen has done in jars, pre-prepared, that include our seasonings or sweetenings. And one of those is the friendship soup in the mason jar.
Yes, friendship soup.
And there's also a cookies in the jar, mix in the jar. And we also have some twists with that include our sweetenings and different ways to do your cookies. So, and one new hot topic lately is called a charcuterie board. Yeah, charcuterie board.
It's a tongue twister.
And basically, if you're not familiar with what that is, it's a tray, and you typically has meats, cheeses, olives, things like that. And it's done in a style that is, how do we call it, organized chaos, sort of sections of things, but also things spread throughout that are kind of random. So we're going to be doing a sweet charcuterie board today. And it's mostly done, and we're going to add some awesome twists at the end of that as well.
Yeah, and I just want to say we have more people here with us. In fact, Jessica had a great idea. She's having everyone say where they are from. So we've got people from Northern California, someone from Alabama here. Draper, Utah, of course, is where Audrey's from. We've got Ohio with Jessica. So all around, thank you for saying who you are and where you're from.
Awesome. Yeah, welcome everybody. And we're excited to get going here. So we're going to, right off the bat, get the why did I lose the
cupcake, the peppermint cupcake.
Peppermint cupcakes. We're going to get those in the oven here as quickly as we can. So we have our KitchenAid. Again, you can do this with an electric mixer. And so we have the paddle here. We're going to be using that. So all we do is we have our universal baking mix. I'm gonna do a half batch, so we don't have to do a big giant batch of cupcakes. We're gonna do mini cupcakes. And so this is typical recipe is 3 cups of our baking mix, and you add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a couple of eggs, and a little bit of oil. And so I've got our half batch here with chocolate, right? We have the chocolate sweetening, and all our sweetenings can be seen right up here. We have the bulk size bags. These are new. We just came out with a whole new sort of reconfiguration of the sweetenings, including the Sweet Shop collection, which has the 6 flavors we have now, which I should just let you know right off the bat. We have the salted caramel, peppermint, which is the new one, brown sugar cinnamon, pumpkin spice, chocolate, and lemon. So we'll feature, I think, all of them tonight.
Yeah, that Sweet Shop collection is the grand prize for the drawing. I've already put it in the group page here, and I'll also put it in the comments later. If you fill out that drawing, that is what we're giving away, is the Sweet Shop collection, $20 value.
Right, and also we have our sweetenings recipe card, so if you want some ideas on how to use the sweetenings, we have this right here. And of course, we just announced today our flash sale on the sweetening bags. So normally these are the volume of over 6 of these here. So you got that right here.
It's over a pound.
And so they retail for $15, so $12 for one. 3 instead of 40, it's 35, and then 6 of them, you get to pick any number of 6. Retails for 75, and they're $60 today. So
yeah.
And that all comes with the recipe card.
And let me just put this out right now. As you know, we are a direct sales company, and our consultants are here with us online. And we've encouraged them to place their shopping links right here in the comments. Please shop through them, and they'll hook you up with some great products for Christmas.
Absolutely. We absolutely encourage you to go through our consultants. However, if you do have trouble getting into a website, just go to SaveTheDaySeasonings.com. As a company, our policy is to make sure a consultant gets paid for every order, even if you just make it right through the company website. All right.
Yes.
So we have that right there. So we're going to make the chocolate.
One thing I'll say too about that universal baking mix, that's the only product that is through our company that does have gluten. It is not gluten-free, but everything else is gluten-free. But this mix allows you to only add super few ingredients to make a lot of sweet products or baked items.
Yeah, and the right word is not yet. We don't have the gluten-free yet, but we surely will at some point, and that's been on the list, and we're excited to have that at some point soon. And the universal baking mix, I also failed to mention, I add just a little bit of water to that as well. So, Jen, you can probably take a quick look inside there as we mix that. We're going to mix that for about a minute or so, and then we will be able to pour that right into our...
So that has the chocolate sweetening, the universal baking mix, eggs, butter, and a little water?
Yeah, and oil.
And oil, okay.
All right. And so after we get this out of here, what we're going to do is we're going to also make the frosting for it as well. And since we're going to use this, I don't feel like washing it afterwards. We're just going to do it in a regular bowl. We just whip it up just like a regular.
Okay, sure.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the double boiler here, which we're going to use to make our lemon bark.
Yum.
And a couple of things, if you're not familiar with what a double boiler is and how you're supposed to use one, basically, for things that are sensitive to melting, so for example, white chocolate has a tendency to want to seize up or become coagulated if it's heated too quickly or for too long. And so you can do it in the microwave, but the danger is you're going to get it too hot or too unevenly warm.
Yes, that's happened to me.
And so anything that needs a little finesse but needs to be warmed up, a double boiler works. So you just put some water and you make sure it doesn't touch the bottom of the bowl you're going to put on top. That's typically going to be glass. And so
would ceramic work too?
Ceramic would work, but it's going to take longer to
go through
heat
it.
up.
Okay.
It takes longer to heat up. And so once this gets warm, we'll be able to put the chips in there, and then we can melt them, and it's perfectly safe as far as not overheating them at all. So,
right.
The double boiler, that's what that is. And they sell all kinds of products that are actually double boilers. But
that's a good makeshift one at home.
You can use any saucepan, any bowl that fits over the top. You don't want it really to fit exactly on the top, because then it gets stuck in there, so you really don't want that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's done right there. we'll just set this aside for licking.
We won't do it right
I'm
now.
actually going to use a cookie scoop, and I hope everybody can hear me okay. So just, let me know if you can't hear me or if I'm mumbling too much. I can enunciate a little bit better. So what we'll do is, I have just this nice, oh, that's going to be too much, a cookie scoop. Fill them about, half to 2/3.
This is a mini muffin tin, but you could do full-sized cupcakes as well. Same recipe, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You can do full size. And what we're going to do here at the end, I'll tell you a little bit about that. Putting the frosting on while it's warm accomplishes a couple things for us. Well, it kind of changes the kind of cupcake it is. Then it becomes sort of a really dense and very sweet, more of a brownie texture. But what we're going to do is, before you actually put the frosting on, you poke a little hole in the top with, say, a pencil-sized object, where you just poke a little hole in the top. And then when you put the frosting in, it kind of leaks into that little hole and gets into the middle.
Makes a little reservoir.
And so you have a little reservoir in the middle. And so you can have, like, the original recipe that we were looking at to make these include like a ganache in the middle. And that'd be a lot easier to do with a bigger cupcake.
Yeah.
So we're going to put those in. Let's try about 9 minutes to start with.
Okay.
As we set the timer. All right, and I'm going to whip really quick. And Jen, you know what? Why don't we slip over really quick and take a look at the nuts really quick that I did, because we're going to get started on the popcorn.
Okay.
But when we make the popcorn, it uses a very similar technique to when you're making the candy nuts.
Okay.
So you show that. Well, I grab a bowl really quick.
Okay.
And have her just show you the candy nuts that we've made over there.
Well, I'll show you this whole table. We'll go over all this stuff later, but we've got all kinds of products here made up that you can do. There's our charcuterie board that is going to be, we'll talk about that in a bit. But coming over here we have, to the right would be the candied nuts. You can see it's got sugar crystals on there. That's from our brown sugar cinnamon sweetening. And to the left would be the seasoned nuts, both of which are roasted in a pan. And Adrian will talk about the technique for that. I think we decided for our seasoned nuts to do some spicier seasonings. We've got our Alvy's Inferno. And we didn't use the Devil's Tonic because I'm not quite that spicy, but...
No, we weren't quite that bold.
Yeah.
So we used a little of the Strong Arm and the Alvy's Inferno on this. But in the recipe, basically you can use any seasoning that you want.
Okay.
And so, again, I'm just going to hand mix really quick this frosting. So the recipe is on the recipe card here. So we're going to just mix powdered sugar.
Okay.
And this is our peppermint sweetening.
The nice thing about our sweetenings, you may find they're not very colorful, and that is on purpose. We do not add any dyes to our products.
That's right.
We find studies show that dyes are not very good for the body. So if there's any color, it's going to be made with natural ingredients like beets and things like that.
Right, and so we have softened butter, and I've talked about softened butter before. Butter is kind of something that can make a big difference in things like cookies and frostings as to how it turns out at the end. With frostings, just like cookies, you don't want the butter to be completely melted. Then it has to re-solidify, and then you have a finished product that is much thicker than you originally wanted. So we make it so basically it's quite soft, and so when you mix it, it's gonna you're not gonna get little cold chunks in there.
Is it more like the consistency of, say, Greek yogurt, just a thicker but softer?
You know, yogurt's a good one, yeah. Yogurt would be a good one. And so normally we can put this into the mixer, but again, I don't wanna, I'm just gonna get it to sort of a coarse consistency, but I'm gonna add a little bit of milk, and that's gonna give us the ability to get it nice and smooth.
So you just kind of do a little at a time?
Yeah, so the recipe calls for up to a 1/4 cup of milk.
Okay.
And usually it doesn't take that much. And I guess the firmer your butter is, the more milk it takes up front, just a little bit. But as we get it going here, you can see the texture is starting to get together a little bit, but clearly not enough. So we add a little bit more.
I just got word that somebody was saying our video is stalling a little bit. Sorry about that. I don't know if there's anything we can do here, and maybe
with a
it's
few others. Let's see if it's an individual issue or
it might be
something.
at the receiving end, but we hope you're viewing well.
Yeah, we'll do everything. We'll kick our son off his computer. He's probably streaming some video right now. So basically, you have a really nice texture right here, and this is
Yes,
about
that
what
looks
I'm
great.
looking for. And if you could even go a little bit thicker if you wanted to. I really like it about like this because we're going to put it on while it's warm. Well, the thing is warm.
And
so.
you can see in there that we have little bits of candy cane crushed in there, our peppermint sweetening. And the red you see there is not red dye.
It's from beets.
It's from beets, so all natural.
All right, so when those come out, then we'll slip some of this on there and we'll take care of that then. But for now, let's move on to our lemon bark. So we have this. This is nice and hot now.
Okay.
And here's our stuff for the lemon bark.
Shall I stand on this side?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Hey, you know what? Let's give away a jar of sweetenings.
Excellent idea.
Who wants to win a jar of sweetenings?
We're going to give away one of these jars,
Yeah,
and you can
we'll
pick
get one of these
you can
jars.
pick the flavor that you want. We have a trivia question then. Let's do a trivia question.
Yeah, let's do a trivia question. I'm grabbing my trivia sheet here. How we like to do this, this is for customers only. Sorry, consultants. They get a chance to win things at their meetings. But if you are a customer and you can put the answer in the comments, the first person to give us the correct answer will get to have the free sweetenings. So here's the question, guys. In what country did the custom of putting up a Christmas tree originate? Do, do, do. No, I won't sing, but yeah, we're waiting to
So
hear.
you can see I poured the white chocolate chips here in the double boiler. And once this is basically boiling under there, and be careful guys, but don't do that at home. I have unnaturally tough hands.
We're mittens.
Turn it way down because it doesn't have to be really boiling anymore. So you just want to keep that warm once it's going. Try not to make a mess. And then once this is melted, I will add the sweetenings, and then we'll basically just dissolve the sweetenings and we'll pour it onto our pan.
Super simple.
But
hey, we already have
one
a
more thing.
winner. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, what?
Yeah, well, several people are saying the right answer, but the first one to get the right answer is Wendy Collins. Or Collins, yeah, Collins.
Congrats, Wendy.
Yeah.
And where's Wendy from?
Yeah, Wendy, let us know where you're from and make sure and message us your address. And does she pick which flavor?
Yes, let us know which one you want.
Which of our 6 sweetenings you want us to send you? Congrats.
So if any of you guys like the lemon heads, we're going to put some of these crushed up into our lemon bark, and we're kind of excited about that because, and we'll also use our lemon sweetenings. But it was a tip that got a lot of positive reviews about adding some of this.
Now, was it in it or on top when you're done? Does it go? I thought I saw it on top.
In it.
Is it in it?
It
Okay.
it really doesn't matter where it is.
That's true. It doesn't matter.
Okay, this.
Wendy Collins is from Alabama.
Oh, Wendy, awesome, Alabama.
Well,
Salted
welcome.
caramel. That's salted caramel too. Did not get the lemon. I must have got 2 salted caramels and.
Yeah, you have to be
lemon.
careful since the sweetenings are not super colorful once they're out of the bag. It can be easy to mix them up if you don't pay attention. But here we've got our white chocolate chips that are starting to melt. Looking good. Definitely something you don't want to rush. Get it melted at its own time.
And I'm only going to be adding a couple tablespoons of the lemon sweetening here.
Okay.
I added, it was a 1/4 cup of the pumpkin spice sweetening, I think. I can't remember. I wrote it down. 3 or 4 tablespoons. A little bit more because we're adding the lemon.
You already have,
pieces
yeah.
too, so otherwise it'd be too much. We don't want too much. With white chocolate, again, has a tendency to not want to melt as evenly and as quickly as the regular chocolate. So you have to be a little bit more patient with it. But what did you describe the taste of a little bit? Oh, eggnog on the pumpkin spice. Yeah, we're talking about a little bit of an eggnog element to it without being eggnog.
Yeah, I'm not an eggnog fan, but that pumpkin spice bark was really creamy with that hint of spice. Oh, so good. And in fact, we have that on our charcuterie board. It's something you could add to your hot chocolate. It would be quite delicious as well.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for the lemon because I thought the lemon was going to be better than the pumpkin spice. But pumpkin spice is great, and I think the lemon is going to be super good too. I'm a huge lemon fan. And our lemon sweetening only use real lemon flavor. There's like lemon oil in there, and it's all natural. We do use real sugars though. That's a question we get a lot. Do you use real sugar or do you use some like
stevia or some
like
alternative?
Right now they are real sugars, but in the future I would love to experiment with some of the alternatives out there. So it's not off the table. All right.
How are these looking?
Oh, looking good. It's not quite done yet. Now you can do the toothpick method on that, but you know if you touch it and it even goes in, doesn't pop back out, it's not done. So for about 3 more minutes.
Yeah, Kelly just said she was going to add the sweetenings to her hot chocolate bombs. I will tell you, we were highly considering demoing hot chocolate bombs. We will be talking about how, if you are doing those at home, how to enhance yours like you're talking about, Kelly. But we found that right now the molds are in very short supply, and I can't find any of them that can arrive before Christmas. We didn't want to do something you couldn't duplicate at home right now, but we'll definitely address how you can do that with the sweetenings.
So you saw I just added the lemon sweetening to that, and that's going to take just a minute to dissolve there, and so we'll just let that go. But in the meantime, we'll get our aggressions out a little bit on this.
Oh yeah,
I have this mallet. This is a meat tenderizer. The other side is just plain, but we use that other side here, and we're going to put that in a towel. Now I don't know. I've never crushed these before, so I don't know. I probably need to put it.
So you've got the candy in a bag and then a towel around it. Sorry, it's going to be noisy for a minute.
So you can see it is crushing it there. Let's see how it does it just by itself there.
Oops.
Now, I have the towel in there to prevent it from, just in case it's going to shoot all over the place. This actually wasn't too bad. So it says up to a 1/4 cup. So let's, I don't think it's going to take quite that much though.
Yeah, the nice thing about making bark is there's so many combinations. We have 6 different sweetening blends, and there's lots of different kinds of chocolate you can melt. So you can have fun experimenting with how you do it. And I wouldn't even really call this cooking, right? You're melting something and adding something. It's super easy.
And yet it is.
And yet
so that's
it is.
it. That's
yes.
done right there. And I have my board here.
Oh, that looks good. I can smell the lemon.
Yeah, it's going right on here.
So you've got
this is not hot here on this side.
You got a silicone mat on their cookie sheet. If they don't have a silicone mat, do they do like wax paper?
I recommend plastic wrap.
Plastic wrap?
I need to have my smoother.
Okay.
Let's do that there.
Yeah, I'm really curious what the lemon bark is going to taste like. Now, is there, you can use any chocolate, right? I know you're using white chocolate, but if you, for a different flavor, like if you wanted to do like the salted caramel, might be really good with just regular semi-sweet chocolate chips.
We can do the same recipe.
You could throw in crushed nuts and have it be, or marshmallows and make like a Rocky Road bark. So you guys use your imaginations.
All right, guys, so I have right here, this is just a frosting spreader, but you could use just a plain rubber spatula or something like that.
Yes.
I love it because it has that great angle there. So I'm just going to spread that out
Nice.
to bark.
Yes, Kelly Walton talked about chocolate and peppermint. We did that, and we'll show you an example of that. Same thing that we did. Oh, he's taking a little sneak taste. What do you think? Does it taste good?
Yeah.
He's going to cry. That's so good. We did the, we will show you in a minute, but we did the peppermint bark as well, and we did that on, dipped it in pretzels. So you can cover pretzels with any of this type of stuff, and it's delicious. I'd love to have you guys put in the comments, what are your favorite Christmas treats that you like to make? We want to hear.
Absolutely. So I'm going to put this in the fridge.
Okay.
And it looks like it's going to take just about the whole 15 minutes. We can take a little bit less.
Oh, because they were smaller. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not 17, but 15.
Well, maybe I'll take a quick peek over here. We have, along with our sweetenings, we've got some new configurations and old, of course, of our seasonings that you can consider that make really great gift ideas. We've got the Chef's Deluxe set, which is a new one. It's really awesome. It's, is it $59, $49? How much is it?
It's on sale for $49.
It's on sale for $49 still, and it comes in this nice box, and it'll be shrink wrapped like the one that's wobbling. Sorry,
Open that there.
I can't do it one-handed. I'll have Adrian open it.
It comes with the recipe card inside, but
Yeah,
all 20.
it has all 20 of our seasoning blends in the little travel-sized jars in a nice set. Wonderful set. It's almost like having a palette for painting, right? It's got all the flavors for the kitchen. Great for anyone in the kitchen. Here we have the mini sampler, which has 18 of our seasoning blends in Ziploc bags. It's a great way to sample them. And then we have a larger version, which is the super sampler. Super sampler runs $24. It's about 3 times the volume or amount as our mini samplers, which run $15. So these are all good stocking stuffers, a great gifts for anybody. And then over here would be our travel jar set. We have, you pick any 6 flavors in the travel size. It goes in the nice little gift box. And recipe cards come with it. So if you're looking to pick up some more seasonings for gifts, and in a little bit we'll talk about what's our 6 jars special too, and I'll do that in a minute.
Okay, that's great. Well, we're gonna start.
Well, first of all, it looks like some of the favorite things are fudge and chocolate covered pretzels, Christmas cookies, muffins, and yeah, anyway, a lot of great food ideas. Okay, so how's that going?
Let's do the toothpick test.
Okay. All else fails, do the toothpick test. Here's that frosting again. You can see the little peppermint candy cane bits in there. What is it?
It's clean.
Came out clean? Okay, so I think we're good.
You know, normal people just use a oven mitt. I have to use something that doesn't work very well. Okay, so we'll just let those, when I say we're going to put the frosting on hot, what I really mean is we're going to put it on warm. So I'm going to let those get to sort of warm, and then we'll put the frosting on. But in the meantime, I kick this on, and I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of water in there.
What are we making?
And 1/4 cup of our salted caramel sweetening, and we're going to do some popcorn. We're going to do some caramel corn, salted caramel corn, with our sweetening here. And this is a really good recipe. It's also one to easily get a little bit wrong. So we're going to use actually a candy thermometer on this, and we're going to get it to the hard crack stage. So if you've ever done that before, there's ways you can do this without having to use the thermometer. I usually don't, but the thermometer is a way to know for sure. Right. So basically, this is going to make about 3 cups of popcorn. So you might want to make a bigger batch, and the more liquid you have in there, the easier it is to measure the temperature.
Yeah, the thermometer, you don't want it to touch the bottom of the pan, so being that there's very little liquid in a large pan, it's going to be hard to use that thermometer, I think.
Yeah, but what this does for it is it makes it go very, very quickly.
Yes.
Since there is not very much liquid in there at all, and Jenkins, you can bring that right over here, actually.
Yeah.
And you can show there's really not that much there. And so as this cooks, it's going to, number one, dissolve those sugar crystals you see there, but also it's going to start boiling and going to eventually get to what we call the hard crack stage. Now, if you've ever done candies or anything like that, there's a number of different stages based on temperatures you get it to. But it's all science, so it's all very predictable. But if you don't know, or if you miss it, then it's also predictably wrong. You can also get it predictably wrong. And so soft ball, there's a hard ball stage, and then there's soft crack, and there's others, and then there's hard crack. And when you get to the crack ones, that means basically when you take a little drop of whatever it is you're cooking and putting it into a little bit of cold water, you'll know right away what it's like. So if I did that at soft ball stage, and I put a little drop using a little spoon, put in cold water,
it turns into a soft ball.
A very soft ball that eventually would fall apart, sort of. Now, when you get to hard ball stage, then that ball is firm and it's no longer going to basically fall apart. And then you get into the crack stages where it is soft crack and all the way to hard crack, where it's basically the next step is burnt. So you don't want to get it past hard crack. So anyway, the temperature you want to get to is 300 degrees. So you can get anywhere from 295 to 307 degrees and be in hard crack stage. But when you do it and you get it right, 300 degrees, you're going to be safe. And so basically it takes, and you can see it's really boiling great now and bubbling, and it won't take long. At this rate, it's going to take maybe a couple of minutes to get there.
Okay.
Now, if you had a little bit more, say a smaller pan with a little bit more in there, making a little bit bigger batch, then it would take considerably longer.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing to bear in mind when you're using the sweetenings and trying to make the popcorn. If you want to stay on the certain side, use the thermometer.
Well, I just have to make a note here, guys. I don't know if you realize how simple this recipe is. Did you notice all it was water and the sweetenings? That is it. And then put it on your popcorn. Simple, simple.
So basically I can cook this, and once you make it once and you see what it looks like when it gets to that hard crack stage, you really don't need to use the thermometer anymore, because then you know what it looks like. You know that, oh, it looks like it's not done yet. So after a couple times of doing it with a thermometer, you might just
Be able to eyeball it.
Be able to eyeball it, right? And that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'll be able to eyeball that, because there's no way I'll get a real accurate reading with that low an amount in there. I'll be basically touching the bottom.
Yeah, I'm just noticing that.
Yeah.
The oven gets left on.
I am absolutely notorious for leaving the oven on, and I actually, is it the first time?
I don't know.
Last week
I was busted.
I busted the oven on. I've been waiting so long, and it just doesn't happen. And
Who else with us leaves the oven on by accident? I want to know.
I don't know. So I'm used to working in restaurants, and the ovens are just always on, right? And so these things go in, they come out, they're just always on. And oh, Jen, come here real quick. We're getting to a point now where
close?
you can see where the color starts to change, right?
And it's
so
thickening
now
up.
it's getting to a white foamy rather than, and it's thickening up quite a bit.
Do you have a spatula to scrape that fast?
Yeah, I have a
handy?
spatula handy. But
it doesn't look like much at all, does it?
No, what's going to happen is it's going to lose its gloss entirely. And see, we're not that far from it.
Yeah, it looks like it's... Shall we turn this off?
Yeah, go ahead and turn that off there. And we're going to put some of this in there. Already have 3 cups. And then what you do, you fold it in with this. And it basically just cooks it in there. And I may have actually cooked that just here too long,
I think...
so.
I'm wondering if hard crack might be even just a little... Of course, maybe you just got past hard crack. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's
a
why I
little
say
softer.
it's a little tricky, because it's only seconds when it's right,
Yeah.
and then when it's not right. All right,
You know
so
what? It's good for them to learn on our watch, right? So that you can get it right when you do it.
No, it's okay, because you know what? From the start, this one's been it's hard to get it exactly right, and honestly, I haven't made this for some time. But what we have here now is sweet popcorn, basically.
Yes.
And that's actually really good. But when we nail it exactly right, then it actually is like caramel corn. But I really think I cooked it about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I know. You were looking for that darn spatula.
Yeah, I think if I had the spatula like just a little bit sooner. So, live and learn. It's okay. We have lots of stuff here. And in fact, these guys are probably just about right now. And that's not so hot anymore. And so what I'm going to do is grab a little.
Aren't those cute? I really like having small treats. When you get a lot of goodies at Christmas time, if they're real large, sometimes it's harder to eat. I just want to kind of smorgasbord, sample lots of variety, and just have a bite here and there. So I think it's kind of fun. So right now he's getting that well
Yeah, I'm just creating a little hole in the middle there. And I'm gonna slop a little bit of this on here. So just have a little
That's our peppermint frosting.
And then I'm putting this on, and now you can actually frost these twice. You could put a little bit on, and then as it's sort of melts its way inside and these cool down, you could put more on top if you want to. And that would be for those people that really like over the top sweet. As it is right here with these, you can see around the edges starting to already melt down. This is going to make a little bit of a mess around the edges, but our whole purpose is that it's going to leave that, it's going to go into the middle hole, and it's going to leave a sort of a glazy look on it, and it'll be a really moist interior. And then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of peppermint pieces.
Wendy Collins had a great question. She said, can you put the sweetenings in the pan with some oil and pop the popcorn the old way? And I think that might be tricky.
Somebody should try it, but I think it would like cook it.
Yeah,
too much.
because you've got to add the water, and if you put popcorn
Now I
with
know
the,
that if you when you do the seasonings, all you do is you pop the popcorn and put the seasoning on when it's hot. You can still do that same thing with the sweetenings. We know you can put any
Just
of the
dust it on
sweetenings on, just dust it on right when it's hot, and that's great. But it's not like that.
it doesn't stick to it like
corn,
caramel.
right?
Yeah.
You want that caramel corn texture where you actually, it sort of sticks together, that kind of thing, which is what we're aiming for here. And it does work. We do it right, but I didn't quite do it right.
So here we've got crushed candy cane on top. That looks delicious.
Okay, and then we have them like that. Now, Jen, we're going to put some of these
Yeah.
over there.
We can put some on the charcuterie board,
You know what else we're
potentially.
gonna- we want to do roasted marshmallows too. You wanna do
Oh,
at the very end,
yeah. What else do we have left?
Well, the friendship soup we want to talk about, and the cocoa mugs.
Yes.
Different ones.
How about-
And then the charcuterie board as well. So,
Okay. How about we do this? Let's give away another jar.
excellent idea.
So, guys, this is another trivia question. This would be for our customers. First person to give the right answer in the comments, we will send them one of our 6 sweetening flavors. You get to pick which one. And so here's the question, guys. Get ready. The French word Noël is often used around Christmas, but what was its original meaning in Latin? What does Noël mean in Latin originally? So
Okay, it's a great question.
I'm sure Siri will help you rather quickly, or Google.
Okay, so do you want to?
Yeah, let's come on over and talk about those, about the jars. We'll do the cocoa later.
Okay, we'll do the cocoa in a little bit here. So what we have is several different kinds of jars here. And this one is our friendship soup. Now, this here has, we have a list of what it has. It has a cup of split peas, 3/4 cup of white rice, and it has 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, 2 tablespoons of Albi's Incredible seasoning, a cup of lentils, and then a cup of small pasta. And then there's a nice instruction right there. There's a nice thing on the top there. And then these are downloadable.
Yes, we'll be including all of the downloadables so you can print your own tags. And the only thing people need to add to this soup would be water and like a tomato, diced tomatoes, tomato sauce or whatever.
So it's really easy.
In fact, you can make up those for yourself and have a little food storage when you're busy. You can just make a quick soup.
Yeah, we have a cookie dough here. And so we have right here, it looks like a chocolate chip cookie dough here with our...
This is the salted caramel chocolate chip.
Salted caramel chocolate chip, yeah.
Yes.
So you can do any flavor, right? We have our universal baking mix. It's going to be 3 cups regardless. So you just put 3 cups of baking mix in there. And then you can put like whatever kind of cookie, the rest of the stuff. So this one has a 1/3 cup of the sweetening in there as well. And this would have the salted caramel. 3/4 cup of chips. And you can do any flavor. This is chocolate. And then 3 cups of our baking mix, and that's it. And then that's ready to go right there. We've got our nice little recipe. All they add is butter and eggs.
How easy is
That's
that?
it, butter and eggs. All right. And this one here is the double chocolate peppermint cookies. And this is also add butter and eggs. But we have, as you can see, the baking mix. It looks like chocolate sweetening. More baking mix. and chocolate
Yeah, I
chip.
just layered it so you get more colors in between.
And then we have our peppermint sweetening.
Yes.
Right there. So you can make
And
your
candy
cookies.
cane.
And candy cane. So you can actually we make the dough, and then we roll the dough into peppermint sweetening, and it is fantastic.
Yeah, that's these
And you
cookies
can-
right here, actually.
There we
It
have
lists
it
the
right
lid.
there.
So that's our double chocolate peppermint cookies that this jar would make.
Crush up the candy cane, and there
Yep.
you go.
Let me real quick announce the winner. We just asked what the original meaning of Noel is, and I think, if I see it correctly, the first person to answer correctly is Courtney Steeman, to be born or birth. So congrats.
Courtney, Yuba City, right?
Yeah, I think she's won before. You've been on here. You're a seasoned winner here at Save the Day. That's great.
That's awesome. So I threw a few of these onto the soon-to-be our complete charcuterie board.
Yes.
And let's. Do you want to do the roasted marshmallows right now?
Yeah, let's do the roasted marshmallows. I just real quick want to show you too. This is going to be some other downloadables. You can take just our Alvy's Incredible, which is our #1 flagship signature blend. Salt, pepper, garlic, onion. Anyone mostly will love it, we find. And the tag, you can be, thank you for being an incredible neighbor, or there's thank you for an incredible teacher, incredible friend. You can just say, have an incredible holiday season. This one here says seasoning greetings. So that's a play on seasonings, and that could, apply to any blend. This one here is garlic the great. You can put a little candy cane on there too. So that's a fun way. If you don't want to do the baking, but you want to give them easy way to cook in the kitchen, you can do that. Also in our downloadables will be these other easy to print off gift tags that you can make to go with your treats. As you can see, we've just put some of the seasoned popcorn in some tins. We'll also have a recipe. This is a Muddy Buddy recipe using our sweetenings to make it really easy. So we'll include that recipe as well. So yeah, let's make some roasted marshmallows. Now, does that mean we need to do a campfire outside?
Well, you can. You certainly can. But we have a great indoor option as well if you have a gas burning stove, or if you have perhaps one of these butane torches or something like that. By the way, hasn't Jen done a great job on these,
thank you.
These treats here? They are fantastic. If I got that, I would be very, very excited. So we're just going to do it right over here, over our gas stove, okay? And we have some marshmallows, but we're not going to do just roasted marshmallows here. We're going to do them special, okay? This is just regular plain water, a little spray,
And why are you spraying it with water?
so that we can dip it in our sweetening. I'm
So
gonna
it'll
put that
stick.
Chocolate. And I was going to do the second one, salted caramel, but
It might be tricky to do two at a time.
Maybe we'll keep it like that just for
Yeah.
to show the difference. Okay.
So salted caramel, and you're doing chocolate. And I,
Yes.
the other day, did the peppermint on there, and it was really good too. It does have little peppermint bits, which actually made it really fun to chew into.
So, yeah, she did this earlier, and I was surprised that we've never roasted marshmallows over our stove before, because it works.
Yeah, I mean, we do it when we go camping. This, of course, is something you're going to have to be very safe and cautious with your little ones if you do this at home.
Obviously, yeah.
You might want to have mittens, gloves, oven mitts on your hands, and definitely supervised. I did find it was tricky to not catch it on fire. Sugar is flammable, right? And so you have to be careful to keep it at a little distance or blow it out quickly.
It's doing a little dance on there. They're doing a little sugar dance.
Yeah.
Just on the salted caramel. It's like,
As the caramel or as the sugar falls off, it may create some sparks. So you do need to clean your stove when you're done a little bit, but it definitely works.
yeah, so they're just about done here. And with the charcuterie board, I've never seen it done. Was it your idea, or did you find that?
You know, Pinterest is my friend.
It is.
As
It's
it and also can be a curse, right? Because then everything needs to be amazing. But yeah, you can do that and put it on your charcuterie board.
Yeah, I never thought about doing something like this. But then if you could have, I don't know, you could put them on a plate or something like that. But you have.
If you get them a little bit crispier on the outside, they do. You can almost hand hold them a little bit better, but it's just a nice added touch. So if you guys are looking for activities to do with your kids at home this holiday season, this is something that would be fun. If you live in a place where you have winter snow, you could let the kids go out to play and then come in and have this beautiful and fun activity to create amazing hot chocolate. You can even take the random, little marshmallows and scatter them around. It's also beautiful if you were to have a few guests over, whatever is permitted in your area. This is a beautiful way to serve treats.
Did you say it was cream?
Yeah, that's some cream. What we have here are some of our sweetenings. This one in particular is our pumpkin spice sweetening. And in this bowl here we have the peppermint, but you certainly could do whatever you'd like. But you can add anything that would mix into your hot chocolate. We've got some white chocolate chips, cookies, Hershey Kisses. This here is the pumpkin spice bark that we did. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
And then did you talk about the mugs already? Or?
I did not talk about the cocoa option. So let's talk about the mugs. So as mentioned, you might be doing your own cocoa bombs, which are amazing. And you can use the sweetenings in the mix with the cocoa bombs, or you can consider something like this where you just, rather than having it in a chocolate circle encased in chocolate, you can do a bag and you can do the cocoa and then the sweetenings. In there I've also included pumpkin spice sweetening and the pumpkin spice bark and marshmallows. Just note, so this mug here is about twice the size of a regular mug. So make sure you measure your mug that you're giving if you're doing that and do the right amount of your mix. But that's a great way to share your fun flavors. You can put chocolate chips in there of different flavors as well and just have fun with it. Okay. Everyone's just saying that it looks fabulous. And
Yeah,
it'd be delicious.
It does look delicious.
All right,
And so
see if we can get around.
that's everything we had to share for recipes. And so these will be posted tomorrow. We'll have the recipes available. And don't forget, we have the flash sale going on through Friday.
Oh yeah, so those jars with the gift tags, it's a great way. That's not the flash sale, that's our December special.
December, any 6 glass jars for $39, so it's a really great deal.
Yeah, it's like saving $2.50 per jar, so it's a great value if you want to give out gifts to your neighbors and friends as well.
Yeah. Any other questions here at the end? Feel free to go ahead and ask.
Yeah, what I want to make sure they know is to fill out your drawing slip for winning one of these free sweet shop collections, and I will put the link in the comments as well. Yeah, Jessica Newkirk just reminded us those mugs you can get similar at like the dollar store, very inexpensively to fill up.
Yeah, the dollar store is a friend when it comes to like neighbor gifts and stuff like that. You get mugs, you get plates and stuff like that. That's really great, yeah.
So Becky Priest, you asked about nuts. We did talk briefly about nuts. You didn't really describe how to cook them, so
nuts,
thank you.
In the recipe, basically when you do it here, the nuts are even easier and you really can't mess them up unless you just simply
walk away
or dump them when they're still wet, because basically you're doing the same thing. 2 tablespoons of water and then a 1/4 cup of sweetenings, and we use the brown sugar cinnamon. It's really good on the nuts. And then when it comes to a boil, you throw the almonds in or the nuts, and then you cook it and you stir it. It takes about 4 or 5 minutes, but then when the outside is just like crunchy,
looks more opaque and less glossy.
Yeah, so when it loses the gloss and it like turns into crystal, it's done, right? And other than that, if it's still moist or wet, then it's not done. So it's a harder one to mess up, but really, really good and tasty. In fact, that.
Should we look at what we have over here again?
I did some. So these were the sweet ones, the almonds with the brown sugar cinnamon, and that's as good as any of those.
Yeah, that you
almonds that you buy,
get. Yeah.
you know, they're super good with the brown sugar cinnamon. And that's that little bit uniqueness that we add to the brown sugar cinnamon that makes it a little different. Really like it. And then these are mixed nuts, cashews and peanuts and almonds. And for 2 cups of that, I add, just cook it in 1 tablespoon of oil. I added 2 teaspoons of strong arm seasoning. And that one has a little sweetness to it, which really enhances the flavor. And then 1 teaspoon of the Always Inferno, which uses ghost pepper. So it's a little spicy, a little sweet, and a really good flavor. So, or you can just use 1 tablespoon of any of our seasonings with the 2 cups of nuts.
And how long do you cook those?
You cook them in oil, yeah, maybe a minute. You know, not very long.
Like on medium high?
Medium, yeah.
Oh,
you don't
medium.
want to cook them too hot.
Okay.
You don't want to burn them, but they'll burn if you cook them too long. So, you know, 45 seconds to a minute is really all it takes. Roast them, heat them through, and they're good.
So we'll be giving recipes out for all of the treats that we've made here today. So be looking for that. We will tomorrow get them posted in the comments, as well as follow up with an email and put them on all of our social media sites. So you'll be able to create these at home.
And a quick glance here at you can see that the frosting has fallen inside there. Maybe I'll just really quick open one up and let's just see what it looks
sample
like.
it and tell us what you think. Gosh, I haven't had dinner yet, so I might have dessert before dinner, guys. I just might do it.
So if you open it up, and you can see that the frosting goes down into it.
Yeah. What do you think?
You know, it's really, and in fact, that's what I love about the baking mix. You can make cake, you can make cookies, like anything, and it's really good. Like, it's legitimate.
Yeah.
And yet it's from scratch taste.
Yes.
It's not like cake makes taste, it's really good.
Let's see, we had another question. Courtney said, would you add anything to the top of the bark before it cools, like peppermint bark?
Yeah, absolutely. You can get a little creative with that. On chocolate ones, you can do nuts on the top, you know, or on...
Yeah, you know, I was going to tell you, here is an example of us doing the pretzels. And you could do pretzel sticks, like the big fat sticks that are like, you know, 5 inches tall and 1/2 inch wide, and dip that into your peppermint bark. So this peppermint bark has our peppermint sweetenings with the white chocolate chips, and then crushed candy cane on top. I can't talk. This here is the pumpkin spice bark that he mentioned that we did ahead of time, and then of course we have the lemon bark.
Yeah, and just a little cinnamon on top of that pumpkin spice bark. So it gives it a little bit of...
more spice.
Yeah.
Just a little more spice. Wonderful.
All right. Guys, I think we should just be done, huh? And we should enjoy Christmas season here together with our families. Hopefully you guys are having a good Christmas season despite everything that's going on right now. Thanks so much for joining us again. And we are actually coming up with a little bit of a different format for our cooking classes next year, which is going to be a bit of a risk, but certainly more fun. So I'm really excited to share a lot more about that. That's something I've been working on. So.
Yes, and just another reminder, we have in our group page a list of all of our consultants and their links to shop from. If you want to support your local small businesses, that's a great way to do it this year, is to order from our Save the Day kitchen consultants. And if you yourself are looking to create some income, we are growing and we need more consultants to share our products with those around the country.
Thanks a lot, guys, and thanks again, Jen, for all the work you put towards this. We did way more work than I did for this one. So
it's a team effort.
And guys, take care and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.